What's going on, Raider Nation? Let me pull up this file here. We can get started on you. All right. Yeah. Here we go. All right. So this is the Amik Robertson breakdown. Tape don't lie, baby. Check us out on YouTube. Me and Marcus Johnson giving you Raiders film breakdowns. So we're gonna get into Amik Robertson. We're gonna talk about press coverage first. This is what Raiders corners have to do, whether they're in the slot, whether they're outside. They need to learn. They need to know how to do press coverage at a high level. And there was enough issues with Amik Robertson in press coverage that I thought I should highlight to you guys, show you guys some things. So first, here he is at the top of the screen. He's using what's called a soft shoe press technique, and you see him start to open his hips up to the sideline. We call that opening the gate, and it allows for this receiver to take an inside release on him, okay, and beat him, get him stacked, beat him for a touchdown. Another example here of him having a hard time, sometimes even though he's an aggressive corner, he doesn't get his hands on early enough in the rep, and so here we see him using that soft shoe. He's fighting to stay square. He's doing a better job of that, but where are we going to land the hands? And we see him take this little hop skip when the receiver drops his hips, and his momentum is going in the wrong way, and he's not able to recover, gives up a big catch here. So, we got to see him, 1, 2, 3, land the hands right now, and he won't, give up. He won't fall for that double move. Another thing that I noticed when he's playing soft shoe, meaning he's taking these 6-inch steps backwards, he's motoring out too much, and he's giving up these slant routes here. You see, this is one example. This is another example of something similar happening, but he's able to have a recovery speed at the end to make a play on the ball. And so this is transitioning into some of the good things that I saw from him on film, but it starts off a little rough for him. So first, let's look at the technique at the bottom. He's motoring out, soft shoeing out, and we see him take a little gallop, little skip step, and I call this a false step. And the reason why I call it a false step is because, well, I wouldn't have a problem with it if his momentum started going towards where the receiver is running, okay? But watch closely here. His back foot steps behind him, okay? So he's taking 2 steps here to plant and drive when he should be only taking 1. Okay, so this is what we call a bucket step, when you take an extra step to drive. And this is something, in college. Okay, anyways, that would have been a reception on a slant route. Okay, but because it was a crossing route, he's able to have the recovery speed, and that's something that you can't teach. He's able to have the recovery speed to break this play up. And so, again, all this technical stuff that I'm harping on him on right now, that's fixable. Flying across the field like a bat out of hell, being the fastest person on the field, in this clip at least, having that kind of recovery speed is something that you can't really teach. And so let's get into some good reps from him. Okay, we see him at the top of the screen here, and he's motoring out, soft shoeing out. And when we see him soft shoe out, he is able to get the hands on. He doesn't get his head around, but because he has his hands on, he sees the receiver go up, cut it off, and he disrupts that pass. Here's another one where he gets his head around this time, runs the route for the receiver, and does a great job fighting and getting that ball out at the end. A lot of effort, okay? So first, we see him try to get the hands on. The receiver goes for an arm over, but he flips his head around because he knows the situation. He knows the goal line is so close, and he can either go and adjust for the back shoulder or go, if it's going over the top on him here, okay? And this is called running the route for the receiver, when you get your head around and you maintain that close body contact, and you basically, just turn to the receiver. You want the ball, and you're going for it here. And again, great job fighting to get that ball out. That's beautiful, beautiful rep. Here, okay? This is another example. This time he's playing a true press, meaning he's not bailing, he's not getting any ground, okay? He's flat step, and a jam. Okay, and look at his feet. Look how hard he's jamming this guy, and he does also a great job at the end getting his head around in case he can make a play on that ball. So this is a really strong rep. Gotta love it. This is a bigger, stronger receiver than him, but he does a fantastic job wiring him. This is a really interesting rep. Aside from the fact that it's a terrible decision by that quarterback to throw that ball right there. First of all, just look at this. He's throwing a little feint like he's a boxer, okay? He's throwing a little feint, and when he throws this feint and brings it back, you see the receiver swipe it thin air, and he's wasting time now doing things that don't really matter, okay? And again, he's focusing, he's finishing the play where the other receiver goes to sleep on it. The other thing is, look how patient he is right here. He's not turning, he's not guessing, he's not opening the gate. He's just sitting there against a guy who, Quez Watkins, ran a 4.35 at the combine. So he's super fearless to just sit here flat and not guess. Gotta love that. The confidence in himself, and that's a big part of playing corner, is having confidence. So you gotta love that. Now let's talk about transitioning to playing nickel corner. This is a big ask for any rookie to do. There's so much that goes into it. The run fits, all the different techniques that you're going to need to play, all the different zones that you're going to need to play. You got receivers that are running two-way goes on you. So we saw some good things from him, and this is a single wide formation, meaning he's got to be on the opposite side of the formation because there's no receivers on the other side. And we see him playing the soft shoe. He gets his hands on. He disrupts the route enough where the timing is off, and he disrupts that catch. Here he is. Again, corner over, but he is using a different technique called a scooch to make this play. And I really like this because we're seeing different techniques from him. Techniques that he's probably not asked to play very often, and he's still doing it at a really, at a good enough level where he's disrupting this pass. So you see him take that's I think it's 4, 5, 6 scooch steps before he transitions over here, and he's dragging his heels in the grass. And just watch his feet. He's dragging his heels, and that makes it easier for him to transition when he wants to actually click and close. And again, he's fighting for the ball. This is an example when he's in zone coverage. He's got the curl flat here, and you see him drop to a spot, and he's got vision on the quarterback. In Paul Guenther's scheme, he's going to be asked to relate to receivers and match them instead of just dropping to a spot. And we see what happens when he is relating to a receiver instead of just dropping to a spot. This is the kind of play that he can make. And that's what Paul Guenther is going to ask him to do when he is playing in a zone underneath as a nickel. He's going to be relating and buying a man instead of just dropping to a spot. And so this is why, I added this highlight in here. And, this just goes to show you the explosiveness, the speed that he has to cover ground. The other thing about playing in the nickel is your ability to stop the run is important here. And this is a big-time play for him. We see it is a quarterback run. Okay, and it turns into a little bit of a scramble drill, but you see him fly in there and make the tackle. So just check him out right here. He's seeing this. He's reading it. Okay, and look at him shoot the gap here and make a big-time play. Gotta love that about Amik Robertson. That's why I think he's going to eventually turn into, a viable option at the nickel corner spot. But again, you saw the lapses in technique, the inconsistent technique. We saw him, he's using a true press, he's using a soft shoe, he's scooching when he's in the slot. A scooch technique isn't something that college or NFL offenses use, primarily a college technique. But we see he has some variety in his technique. It's just not consistent enough in it yet. And when you're in the NFL, you got to really become a craftsman. And then at the same time, learning all the intricacies of a defense, including, the run fits. It's a tall ask, and I don't think he's quite there yet, Raider Nation. I know we're all fans of this guy. I like Amik Robertson. I just don't think that he's, quite yet ready to settle in and take LaMarcus Joyner's role. Maybe not even for this whole season. So don't get your hopes up too high. If he does come in, allow him to have, some rough weeks and don't, cast your judgment on him so soon. It is going to be a transition that's going to take him probably a couple seasons before he reaches where we think that he should reach, Raider Nation. So just keep that in mind. I like Amik Robertson. I just don't think he's ready to start in the nickel week 1. Tape Don't Lie podcast. Follow us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Holla at you.